Good morning, Duff here, and there's something that I should admit.
Good morning, what can I start it for you?
Hi, can I get a large hot coffee with cream and sugar?
Okay.
That's it.
Is it an order by donut size or cinnamon sugar donut sticks served warm?
No, I'm okay, thanks.
$2.32.
Since I got my one wheel, I haven't touched or ridden one of my electric unicycles. It's true. Yeah, I got the one wheel probably somewhere around 2 weeks ago, I believe. And yeah, since then I've just been all about just trying to get better at this. So I'm near the developments that are close to Dunkin' Donuts right now. The quarry. Heritage Bay. Name of that eluded me for a second. So I'm hoping to put my longest ride in here, have some time. It's just me. Cindy's at home, so got some time to explore, so hoping to take advantage of it. I had said last week that I didn't think I could get the mirror adjusted so I could see behind me, but that's a lie. I just did some additional tweaking, and I can report that I can see behind me without doing this. So I guess that's a good thing. It's been a painful week for me as these brush burns on my shins have been healing. Have a constant stinging sensation going on, and even after a week, they're still they're not healed. That's for sure. So hoping I can avoid. Well, there's some pushback. I'm hoping I can avoid recreating that scenario in the future. Yeah, I just got back-to-back pushbacks. Doesn't feel like 15 either. I don't know if anyone has confirmed that Future Motion got more aggressive with the pushback with the latest firmware revision. This has version 4.117 on it, I believe. And from what I've seen on the Facebook group, it rides differently than 4.107. So just curious if anyone else has some feedback on that. Okay, I'm now inside the boundaries of the quarry development. Just gonna cruise around. You know, I think this connects to Heritage Bay at some point, so try to hit that as well. Just some varied terrain for me to practice on. Let's try a stop while holding coffee. Let's see how we do here. Not so good.
That's hard.
Take some practice. All right, first one was a fail. I was tipped forward with my weight. So, yeah. That's too bad. I have absolutely no idea where I'm going. I'm just kind of cruising along. There's a nice bike path there, so maybe I should use that, even though this road is very lightly traveled traffic-wise. I might get on that bike path. According to the radar gun, 14 miles an hour. Okay, stopped cleanly that time. Whew. Man, it's hot out here. It's really hot. So I got my first two accessories for the one wheel. I have the fender from Future Motion. Ordered that. That arrived on Friday, I think. And I also have, what do they call them? Float plates, skid plates, I don't know. From Craft and Ride. They're like real low friction plates for the bottom of the board. A lot of people use them for tricks, you know, they can slide on the bottom of the board using these plates, but that's not really my intention. I got them more just because supposedly they're a lot stronger than the factory plates, so I just kind of got them for durability's sake. So I'll be putting both those on today sometime, hopefully. Yeah, I'm really not a fan of this. You know, this thing has a posted top speed of 19 miles an hour, and I'm not a huge fan of the pushback kicking in 25% below that number, basically. You know, 15.1 miles an hour, that's when it's been kicking in. And yeah, that just seems a little conservative to me. I would say the pushback at least is very smooth, and you know, it's not like right there. I'm riding right on pushback. It's very smooth and predictable. It's not like an abrupt thing that should throw your balance off. Because I have heard some people say that they've had issues where it feels like it's throwing off their balance, and I definitely don't feel that way. Still have no real idea where I am and where I'm going. I am still at the point where I tense up when I see like road irregularities in front of me, just because I'm not quite sure how the board's going to react to them. So clearly one negative with one wheel compared to higher end electric unicycles, because you know, some lower end electric unicycles only have speed in this range, but you know, when you're talking about comparisons to my M Super or my Monster, you know, the speed is significantly less. So if getting from point A to point B the quickest route possible is your goal, then a one wheel is not going to be your best solution for that. I'm curious how my foot discomfort will be doing this as opposed to an electric unicycle, because that's one thing that I always battle with is foot pain, and I'm curious if it'll be any better or worse, you know, riding a one wheel for a considerable amount of time. Man, constant pushback. I'm just like, I'm rocking like I'm on a boat. Not hard, but constant. Yeah, this straight open road riding really isn't the kind of thing that a one wheel's made for. A little boring, to be honest with you, just because you can't go that fast. You need to find some bike paths and that kind of stuff with a little bit more variation in the terrain and undulation. Yeah, okay, I'm at one of the other exits right now, I think. Yeah. If I wasn't holding my coffee, I would tackle this, but I am. Well, everyone always says, oh, I wish the camera was rolling when you screw up. There you go, just screwed up. Ground my ankle again a little bit, but thankfully a band-aid's there, but did not feel good. Alright, let's just carry it. Alright, after that little unfortunate mishap, back on the road. So I'm back out on the main road. I'm going to, this time I'm going to be going back up towards the quarry, but I'll shoot up to Heritage Bay instead. I know there are some like nice paths there I can hit. Of course, when I had that ungraceful dismount, there was a truck coming out of development, just watching the silliness. They got a good view at full silliness. I'm wondering if I have my toe too far off the side. With the side effect being when I try to raise my heel, my toe tips the board down and just makes things go to shit. It's kind of what it feels like. I think what I need to do is finish my coffee so I can grab the selfie stick. So let me do some high-speed coffee drinking. One of the comments on my video this week was, one of my videos, was this foot position where I have my feet basically 90 degrees perpendicular to the board has a disadvantage of if I did have an incident and I tried to run off the board, I'm going to luckily be out of luck because I'm going to probably just trip myself because this foot is not facing forward at all. So That's I can see that scenario. I don't know that I'd have a lot of success running off the board either way, but that is something to think about for sure. Just had another clean stop. Nothing like hot coffee on a 90-degree day. I did bring my M10. Don't know that I'll ride it though. What I really want to try at Heritage Bay, hopefully the wind noise is not too terrible, is the bridge. Go up and over the bridge with this and see how this feels. No problem. My first sustained braking I've ever done. Sustained. That felt like nothing. No struggle whatsoever. Just a reminder, I'm about 6'3" and my riding weight's probably somewhere around 190 pounds. So one wheel X hard. I had no problem with that whatsoever. It just struck me what I really need is, to get that Sony action cam that I've been talking about forever, and then I would be able to easily do selfie stick shots and rolling vlog shots like this. Just keep all the rolling vlog shots on the old GoPro and selfie stick stuff on the Sony, and just keep both. I think it would make it a lot easier for me to do both and to edit as well. So I think I just talked myself into pulling the trigger on one of those finally. So one of the reasons I didn't just take the one wheel fender out of the box and just slap it on the board was I want to actually take some measurements with the pipe dream idea of maybe being able to 3D print myself a fender. I think that'd be pretty cool. But I need to take some measurements to see if I can make it work somehow with the dimensions that I have available to me on the 3D printers that I own. Speaking of 3D printing, those of you that have been on my store lately, inventory has been going down. I've sold some stands and I've given some stands away, so I didn't have a whole lot up there. But I did put 3 new stands up there this week, and I'm actually doing a custom order for someone. I'm in the last stages of printing 3 additional stands. So yeah, if you haven't looked there for a little while and you're thinking about getting a stand, take a look. I think I have maybe maybe a half dozen up there you can pick from. Feet are starting to tingle and burn a little bit. I have no idea how far into the ride I am here. I don't know the One Wheel app enough. I started my ride, but I don't see how I keep statistics on it while I'm recording it. So I need to mess with that some more. Oh, those of you that are in Florida, and if you ever, sometimes you'll be in areas that'll say no motor vehicles. And I did some loose research on what is classified as a motor vehicle in Florida, and if what I saw is correct, motor vehicle is something that has 2 or more wheels and goes in excess of 20 miles an hour. So, alright, so I'm not saying it's 100% true, but that is what I saw. So if you have someone give you shit about riding in an area that says no motor vehicles, you can just quickly spit out those parameters to them, and that might shut them up. Might not. Alright, much like my ride through the quarry, I have no idea where I am. But I am getting lots of pushback. Lots of pushback. But I can control it. If I was riding an EUC, that could be a problem. But it's pretty safe to say it will not be going over 25 miles an hour on a one wheel ever. Alright, I was just getting constant pushback, so I'm just going to give in and just slow down a couple miles an hour. Huh. Wow, okay, so I've gone almost 10 miles already. Surprising. Fucking phone. God damn it. Well, so much for getting official stats. My phone just died. My my iPhone 6 is on its last legs. I replaced the battery myself. If you look back in my video collection several months, I don't know how many months ago it was, bought a battery off of Amazon, had 4.5 star ratings, and yeah, the thing sucks. It was great for like a couple months, and now it just randomly just will die. It'll go from 75% to turning off just whenever. So, and my screen has like a big bright white spot on it. Yeah, I need to get another one, and but actually I'm thinking about just getting this is a 6, and I'm thinking about just getting a 6S, because I kind of like having a headphone jack, and I spent a lot of money on my phone case, and really I don't know that a 7 or 8 or 10 really does much for my quality of life, so I might just get a 6S with a lot of storage and call it good. Alright, so I do know where I am in Heritage Bay. I'm heading towards the exit. So yeah, 10 miles already. And if I saw the indicator on the app correctly before it died, I think it still said I had 12-mile range, which is kind of crazy. But really, it's kind of in line with what I've seen so far, because I was doing 6-mile rides, and it said I had about 75% battery life left. So yeah, the battery in the XR, it's good, man. It's way better than my first EUCs that I had, that's for sure. Really, the only negative I have about the one wheel so far is the early kickback. I wish it would kick back at a couple miles an hour higher, maybe 17. That'd be fine. But 15, 15 feels very comfortable, and I'm rocking like a boat right now, just because I'm riding at 15, and it definitely it detracts from the riding experience. It's weird. It kind of reminds me of when I got comfortable with my 9x1, and I was hitting the constant tilt back on that once I got more comfortable, and that tilt back is a very similar speed on that, like 14 miles an hour or something like that. So a little bit of deja vu feeling right now. I wonder if Delirium, I thought I read on the forum that Delirium has the same 15.1 mile an hour pushback. I wonder if it's quite as aggressive or as frequent as in mission mode. I'm in mission mode. Everything I see says ride mission, unless you're a really advanced rider. So I've just been sticking with mission at this point, but a little less rocking would be nice. So I think this is where my experience with EUCs comes in. You know, I'm already used to going, you know, I've gone up to upwards of 29 miles an hour on my electric unicycle. So, you know, rolling at speed on one of these devices doesn't seem like all that scary of a thing to me. So maybe that's why this feels as restrictive as it does right now. This would be perfect, like if I was riding with Cindy and she was on the Mini Pro or the i2, you know, because speed-wise, I could roll at the you know, 12 mile an hour top end of those things all day and not have any pushback. So yeah, it's all good. Just have to have realistic expectations. You know, this isn't an electric unicycle; it's a different beast. See, like that, no motor vehicles. So if Mr. Condo Cop says, "Hey, look at that sign, no motor vehicles. Does that thing have a motor?" You say, "Well, according to Florida statutes, this is not a motor vehicle. Have a nice day." But really, I mean, to me, the most important thing you can do in that situation, or any situation actually, when you're around other people, other bikers or runners or walkers, is just to always be respectful. You know, the people that buzz other pedestrians or people on the path, they're the ones that are going to get the attention. They're the ones that are going to get us all in trouble. So I always try to make sure to be as courteous as possible when I'm around other people. Give them lots of space, slow down, and if necessary, just dismount totally. You know, if there's a really tight situation, I'll just get off and let the person that's on a bike or walking just go by. It's not a big deal. It takes, you know, 10 seconds out of my time, so I'd rather just do that than have something really unfortunate happen. So one thing to keep in mind is I've covered more than the distance to go one way to Dunkin' Donuts already, so you can definitely do that. Yeah, I need to really do that for real. All right, so there you go. That was my longest one-wheel ride to date. Other than that dismount, that one sloppy dismount, it went really well, I think. My feet don't feel awful. I would say that ride was at least 11 miles, maybe closer to 12. So unfortunately, I don't have accurate app numbers to give you, but hopefully I'll get my phone replaced and I'll be able to do that next time. So if you found this video interesting, please give it a big thumbs up. If this is your first time first time visiting the channel, please consider subscribing. And also I encourage you to leave your comments, thoughts, and suggestions below. I read them all and respond where necessary. So yeah, good times. Really liking the one wheel. That's all I got for you for now. Hope you have a good rest of the weekend. And until next time, definitely now. So I need to make sure I can still ride these things. Make sure. Feels weird. Feels strange, man. From one wheel straight to EUCs, definitely have to adjust a little bit.